what, let's see here. How old are you?
I'm 25.
You're 25?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you just straight out of high school, what did you start doing?
I don't remember not doing it really. My granddad played just like rhythm bluegrass guitar, with just steady right hand, play the chords and pick a little lead sometimes, but that was about the extent of it. So kind of grew up in church and hearing guys play, and I could keep a rhythm real young. So I went to about I guess I'd done a year of lessons when I was 5 or 6 maybe. Mm-hmm. And then I just kind of taught myself from there, playing in church and family picnics, and because I was born in West Virginia, we moved to Kentucky when I was like 13. So a lot of Appalachian old-timey gospel, much different than like the Southern gospel, more like, the Appalachia, that kind of thing. And then we moved to Kentucky, and I met some guys. I'd been going to this place that it was like a little jamboree. They still had jamborees back then. Mm-hmm. You couldn't drink in them or anything like that because it was a dry county that I lived in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So just little and establishments like that have all gone by the wayside because, I mean, if you can't drink, nobody's going to come to hear a band. I mean, not nobody, but the masses aren't coming to hear a band if there's if they can't drink, because that's part of it for a lot of people, you know. But got going. I met these 2 old guys. Excuse me. Tony Towery, who was an old hippie, and he's still around, and he's up in his 80s now. I gotta go see him. I see him every now and again, but he just a schooled, like, could play jazz, could play classical, could play blues, he could sing harmony, just was so right on everything, and then so he was, a big mentor for me. And then his duo partner, they were duo partners, Stan Blanton. He passed 6-7 years ago, I guess. But he was like a blues guy. He was like a prison warden, and then he played blues. He done all the finger picking with the picks on the right hand, the Chet Atkins and the Delta blues and stuff.
Delta slide blues.
Yeah, man, he was killer. So I had those 2 aspects, and they were pretty hard on me. I was fortunate that they took an interest, in my musical journey. Mm-hmm. And so they were hard on me about, they give me a book of chords and was like, hey, I need 3 or 4 of these next week. I need you to show me, that you're getting them, and I already knew all my cowboy chords, and like I could play already. Yeah. I was probably 13 or 14. I could play. Mm-hmm. I was probably 12 or 13, I guess. And then I played with those guys and got to going okay. And then I got with a group of guys and started playing in bands. Like, these were older guys. It was always older guys. I didn't have anybody my age. There was no scene for it then. Yeah. There were no bars around to play, so you'd go to VFWs and Mexican restaurants and Jamborees where they'd be sneaking in booze and then, we'd travel. So when I was, I guess, 14 and 15, I was with a band, and we'd play Friday and Saturday night, usually a couple hours out of town somewhere. And, I would play at a jam on Thursdays, and then I played at a Mexican restaurant on a Tuesday night. So, at 14 and 15, I was playing for, 3 or 4 nights a week. Yeah. Trying to stay awake in school the next day.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah.
So that was kind of like, you knew that's kind of like the direction you were going to be taking after school and stuff.
It's all I've ever done. Yeah. It's all I've ever done, man. It's the only thing good I've ever done. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So have you come across, you going to be striking any record type deals or anything? Do you have an opportunity yet?
It'd have to be pretty good, I think. Because that's another thing. It's gotten very blue collar. Obviously, if a big record company comes and they've got like a good deal, but they're taking kids out of Nashville right now, man, and giving them like 93-7 splits where the kid gets the 7, you know. Yeah. And a lot of times how that'll work, and like I said, it's so different for everybody. Everybody's deal's different.
You're just the puppet for the company. They pretty much control what content you're putting out. They're controlling what type of songs you make. And, I've heard some stories through podcasts and stuff like that, through artists.
Yeah.
So even if you did make that big break, it's like, do you really want to give up the creativity for
and even if
money?
Even if you make a deal that's like, they're like, hey, you can make your own music. We don't care.
Yeah.
Just make it profitable.
I think that they were just talking about it. I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and one of the things that he had said was kind of like when I listen to Aerosmith. Like Aerosmith in the 70s is completely different than Aerosmith in the 80s and 90s, because that's when the record company starts to pretty much own you. And so it's just kind of like they started doing soundtracks to movies with like this. And it's like, dude, Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion. Those are, so it's like, it's almost kind of scary to, well, I mean, I would imagine it would be scary to like pick up a record deal. Yeah, the money looks good, but what kind of person are they going to turn you into? It's the same thing. Like me and my wife were listening to, like we have Spotify, so some playlist that was on there, and there was like just a random songs from 2008, 2009, which when me and my wife graduated high school. And so we were like sitting there listening. There's like a Taylor Swift song that came on. I can't remember the name of it. It's one of her older songs. It was like we listened to that. We just kind of like looked over at each other and was like, dang, man. Yeah. That girl had no idea she was going to be changing into what she turned into now.
Right, yeah.
And her music now is just, I don't know. I like the old Taylor Swift music. My wife, was the teenager when, Taylor Swift was starting to get kind of big.
For it. Yeah.
I used to listen to it with her, and don't leave me alone. I can have my gay moment, but I like the old style, like Taylor Swift music, and it makes me wonder if she would have been screwed with, what kind of music she would actually be putting out today.
Yeah.
Probably still be country music.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah.
But, she's, the most famous person alive. It's hard to argue that it worked, whatever they done. But, as far as the musical integrity, which is what I think you're talking about. Yeah, that's...
because you're going to strike your first record deal, and then 5 years from now, you'll be Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
It'd be something like that.
And a lot of times what they'll do with people, they'll sign them to a deal, and they'll give them like an advance.
Yeah.
So if you sign me to a record deal, you give me, $200,000 to make an album. You can go to the best studio, whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Do whatever you want with it, but you put out an album, there's music videos, we're pushing singles, all that stuff. You don't start getting if you sign me to a 93-7 split, I don't start getting my 7% until after I've paid that advance back.
Yeah.
So it's like selling cars with the draw. I used to sell cars, by the way.
Oh yeah, did you really?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay.
So it's like the draw pay. I don't know if y'all done that or not. They'd give you so much a month.
Yeah. And if you take a draw, you better start looking for another job.
Yeah. You didn't get very many draw pays. But but you'd pay that draw back.
What'd you sell?
I sold at a place called Gilly Hyde Ford in Glasgow, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. We sold, new Fords, obviously, and they had a couple lots, and just,
How long did you sell cars?
Probably, I don't know, 9-10 months, maybe a year.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
All right.
I wasn't like a career, but
nah, man.
I was there long enough, I could get,
Career expectancy of a car salesman is 6 months. Yeah, it really is.
I sold like 10 cars a few months. Like I could get like 10 a month or something like that. Yeah. That was solid where I'm from. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't there long enough to put up any big numbers, but it was one of the best things I ever done to understand people and in business. And the guys around me, the guys that were any good at it, they were hungry for it. They were in there every day, just getting after it. So, I learned a lot of lessons like that. Anything you do, you learn a lesson in.
I was reading, I'm pretty sure it was a fictional book. I was in an airport. This was back after I had joined the military, and I had stumbled upon like this book that somebody had like left in between the seats, and I was like reading it, and it was a corporate management book. I can't remember the name of the author. I wish I did. I could. I should have kept it. I just like left it there when I left the seat. But I read like this little chapter in the book, and it was it seemed like there was like this high-ranking CEO or some type of, I don't know, some type of manager of some large corporation, and he was trying to manage these people, and he was trying to like bring up sales, and for some reason, like his salespeople couldn't get on board with like the tactics that he was using and stuff like that, and so this guy makes like his base salary is like $350,000 a year, so like he's a high level executive, and so then it was the CEO that came to him and was like, hey. Go down to this car lot tomorrow, report to this sales manager, and just wear khaki pants, and they'll have a polo ready for you when you get there.
Nice.
And he's like, what? And he made him sell cars for like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
To learn how to deal with actual people rather than the,
Suits.
basically the suits that he was used to. He's like, when you can go back and you can learn how to sell to an everyday Joe, and you can learn what's important to people, because he's not able to see what's important because like this kid was like grown up in Ivy League schools and stuff like this. So like he has no idea how the real world works. Yeah. And so I never finished the book or anything, but there was like a little portion that I was reading of it. I should have picked it up. But yeah, it was a pretty amazing little chapter in that. I was like, going back and having to sell cars to learn how to deal with people. It kind of goes like with what you're saying. Yeah. You probably wouldn't have been as good at going and knocking on like doors to bars. You got to be able to read people. Absolutely. You got to be able to like, you go in and hey, and like you got a bartender in there that's busy and is trying to get ready to set up. And you're like, hey, I just want to talk to you for a couple minutes. I'm trying to get my start. Yeah. I'm just trying to get music played, and I'm trying to play music or whatever. It's hard. Like a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it. It's actually difficult.
That's all I've done when I got to town for
It's more difficult than getting up on stage and trying and playing music sometimes.
Sometimes, and especially if you, which I'd already sold cars, so the idea of somebody telling me no didn't hurt my feelings. I mean, that sounds so simple, but like, if you've never sold anything, it's like, it is an awkward thing for somebody to tell you no, and then you're like, well, they've already told me no, I'm about to just keep trying. Yeah,
how many times I think I used to remember at the beginning of like a car sale, like guys that I've caught out, families that I've caught out on the lot, and how many of them always said, man, we're just looking. Yeah. And all of the majority, everybody's just huge majority of them leaving in brand new vehicles. Yes. Or a used one. But
everybody's just looking, yeah.
Everybody's just looking. Yeah. But you came here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I used to say all the time, like, don't let your customer leave, because then they're going to go find a salesman down the street.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you couldn't get it, you'd tag somebody else in. You split the deal if they could get it done. And it can be pretty greasy.
I liked car sales was pretty cool. I don't think I could do it now. My personality and my temperament, I don't really think would allow me to do it. Yeah. I don't have the patience for it. Because now I'm the type of person where it's like, all right, you got every bit of information that you need to make this decision. It's like, I don't have time just to sit here and baby you and hold your hand. Right. Like, you need to make the commitment or on what you want. I don't think I could do that portion of it now. I used to be really good. Like if people ask me about car salesmen, I don't know of a car salesman that's lazy. Most car salesmen are pretty hard.
Not a good one, yeah.
Yeah. Most car salesmen are pretty hard workers. And then, of course, they still have that determination to be able to take a no. Yeah. And then take losses here and there. But, yeah, man, you learn a lot from that business.
Absolutely.
And then, it pretty much bleeds over into anything and everything. It's how relationships are built. It's how you keep relationships. Yeah. Get those same people coming back. Like, yeah, dude, that's pretty cool, though. But you're able to use that in the realm that you're in now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just all something borrowed from everything you do,
Yeah, so you did car sales after high school. Did you do anything else?
I've done everything. I've been a Zipline tour guide through Mammoth Cave National Park.
Oh, up in Alabama.
Kentucky.
Is Mammoth Cave okay?
Yeah, it's in Kentucky. It spans like 500. I think it's the biggest cave in the world.
Yeah, pretty sure it is.
But yeah, I worked for a guy that owned property that butted up against the park. so he could run like a business on it. It wasn't, you know.
So I've never been on one of these little Zipline tours, but if you're the tour guide, you just go with him. Are you the first person to go across?
Well, so you've got 2 tour guides with you. So this is like a canopy tour. So we zip you out onto trees with little platforms on them, and you stand around them, and it's just treetop to treetop until you hit the ground.
How do they get those things set up to begin with?
So if you're gonna go treetop to treetop, you kind of need a valley so you can go back and forth. You know, because if it was.
But do they use like a man lift to stretch this thing across, or do they shoot it across? How does it work? Do you know how they set it up?
They'll use like something in the lines of like a come along or something almost, you know, because it like, yeah, it's heavy, you know, the line's heavy and it has to be tight. And
how often is it checked? Like regulation, like making sure that it's tight enough and all
so
that?
Regulation, what we done every day, every morning, somebody rode across. I mean, yeah, somebody rode across.
That's
so
how
like,
we tested it. We tested somebody went across it.
Well, you know, we run it every day. So like when we got there, we'd go across, we'd feel for burrs. You know, we'd look at everything, and you're pretty much at that point just clearing out spider webs. Yeah. And then once every 2 weeks, they'll go through and tighten all the bolts. You know, make sure everything's good. And then once a month, it's like a full, you know, service thing, thorough inspection stuff. I didn't even know. Like, I don't even know about. You know, like you gotta. But yeah, I was one of the tour guides. So you'd come in, we'd get you suited up in the harnesses. We'd walk you down to the treetops, and you'd have a sending guide and a receiving guide. So you'd sit there, you'd give a speech about how to ride and what to expect when we caught you. And so your receiving guide would go on across, and your sending guide would sit there and hook people up and clear the, you know, you'd either on a radio or you'd holler. You know, you had like a little code you'd holler, and you'd send them down, hook them up and send them down, you know. And this is all like multi-levels of contact because you're up in the air. Yeah. So you're hooking carabiners up like nobody's ever unhooked ever. Yeah. That kind of thing, you know. Well, you know, from the military, it's the same, you know, kind of same concept as far as there's no chance somebody can fall as long as nobody just unhooks herself and jumps. So you'd send them across. Now, the receiving guide, and you'd take turns being the sender and receiver. The receiving guide, you'd hook your carabiner to the line, and you'd walk off the platform onto this wheelchair-looking ramp. And you'd stand on the edge of it, lean back in your harness, like with the tension on your rope, and you'd have a brake rope on your, let me think here, your right side. And when they came in, it was like a prusik knot, so it was like a tension-based knot. And when they came in and they hit, you'd yank that thing down, and that rope would tighten up with the tension, and it'd slow them down. And then then it was up to you to get them on in, or if they were coming in real fast, you know, sometimes they, you know, you get a big 250-pound guy up there, you know what I mean, coming through cannonballed up and almost knock you down, but you get them stopped, you know. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I've done that for 2.5 years, maybe. I've worked in factories, man. I've worked in sawmills. I've done a little bit of everything. Nice.
So what's the trade that you came out of from like your parents? Like, what was home life like? Like, what did you?
My dad he retired from the postal service, but he went to school for carpentry. And my mom's a very good carpenter, so they were both real good carpenters. So they weren't in like the real estate game as far as flipping houses, but we moved several times throughout my childhood, and they'd always buy a house, and you know we'd live in it for a long time, and then you know they'd have it all fixed up, and they'd sell it, make a profit, and and you know like just kind of like that. You know, it wasn't like nothing large scale, but they were always really good at that. You know, doing the work themselves and all that. You know.
Yeah. So retired from the post office.
Yeah, man. But he was
dude. That's like people actually don't understand mailman, like their retirement and all that. Like, yeah, man, they get good benefits.
Yeah, and he was in the military. He was my dad's a lot older. He's in his 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he got drafted like 65, I think, 64, 65. It was the Vietnam era, yeah. And he they sent him to France to work on a blacktop crew. Yeah, so he was over in France working on that and moving bases from France from Germany to France, one or the other. He's moving
during Vietnam.
Yeah, no, he was in transport over in Europe.
Dude,
So he said a lot of, just about everybody he was in there with that got sent to Nam, did it, and they didn't make it back. And he signed up to go with him because that was his buddies. He was like, we'll go. When you're young, you don't think about it. And they sent him to some place in, over in Europe to.
That's crazy.
To work as a laborer, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. Man, yeah, that would have been nice. Getting France when everybody else has to go to the jungle.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was a time they were just sending everybody everywhere,
Yeah.
And so that he got to go all over the place. But
I still are. Yeah, we're finding out more and more now that I think it was in our last podcast, somebody had said something about how, well, we're not really in conflict right now, but it's like United States is at conflict with somebody at all times.
Yeah.
We've got something going on somewhere.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. So did you throw a dart at a map and you're just like, Panama City's where I'm going? Or did something specific happen that brought you here?
My wife likes it here.
Okay.
That
I didn't know
helps.
you were married.
I am married. Yeah. I've been married 2.5 years.
Okay.
And me and her been together 4 or 5 years now. So we were dating at the time, and we came down on vacation, and she always loved it here. Being from the South, man, it's like Gatlinburg or here. That's where you go on vacation. Yeah. So we came down and we started making trips down. I started getting some gigs and stuff. So I would come down to play one gig.
Oh,
I would drive 8 hours to play one gig. Yeah. And we done that, and we moved here. I want to say like March of 22, I think it would have been. And the time's just flown by, just stayed busy and worked. And
yeah, right after the COVID crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much after that.
Yeah, the music scene was firing back up really good.
Yeah.
And I got down here and I seen some of the talent here, and I was like, I seen that other people were making a living, and I was like, well, why not me? Why couldn't I do it?
Yeah. So what are your main places that you love to play here on Panama City Beach?
Panama City Beach, man. Oh, a lot of good places. And, bars and restaurants, unfortunately, they go in and out, So there's places that have closed that were cool. And, but, the Salty Goat, I love the Salty Goat.
Yeah.
That's so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. We play there a lot, man. And the staff and the owners and just got the stuff together. It's just a great business. They've always been really good to me. They've given me a chance when nobody else would.
Yep.
Newbies is always fun. Always love rocking at Newbies. Neons, we play at Neons quite a bit, and we like it over there a lot. It's a good atmosphere. Always something new going on. So that's kind of the 3 main joints right now as far as.
Neons.
Regular play in Neon's Beach Shack.
Yeah.
But we've played all over the beach and been very fortunate. I've never had any trouble with anybody here.
Where do you play in town?
On across the bridge?
Yeah.
Let me think here. So we used to play at House of Henry quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I think they got some new ownership. And we played at the Dive. We played the Dive every now and again, or the Hobo used to be.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. I love those guys, man. The owners of that, they're really involved, and Bobby and Scott and all them. So they have a fun thing going on over there. And we just played a couple weeks ago at Mosey's, and that was super fun. We had so much fun at Mosey's. It was like.
Did you play in the back room setup, or did you play right there in the front?
Right there in the front, yeah. No, we came in through the back room. That's cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind hosting like a ticketed event with some other original artists or something back there. Maybe that's something, we could work on. But yeah, man, the owner's super cool, and he's very intuitive about sound. So like he ran sound for us, and we used real amps, and we had we're fortunate enough we had some of our friends and people come and see us. So like we had a good crowd, and done mostly original music. So it was a little different than playing to tourists, obviously. Yeah. So we really enjoyed that, and that's just a cool place anyway. You can just kind of everybody's welcome there. It's that kind of vibe. So I enjoy that.
So since you've been playing in a tourist destination, every local musician has this. I know you have it, and you have to be 100% honest with me right now.
Okay.
What is the worst song that you hate playing, but you have to play it because you're in a tourist destination? If you say anything Jimmy Buffett, you like,
No, not really. I mean, I get the request for Buffett quite a bit. No, I would say this boom in the last couple years of the college, just colleges picking up like Dixieland Delight. You know, that's a fun song, and I've always loved the song.
It's gotten old.
Yeah, man. I mean, I play it. I play it 8 days a week. You know, so
I guess every song it could probably be that one that you hate.
Honestly,
by now.
and I like, you know, I like sports, but I'm like, you know, anything with the college teams, like anytime I'm playing somewhere and nobody's interested in what I'm doing at all.
Yeah.
And then I play that Dixieland Delight and now they're rowdy. I'm like, you know, what?
Yes.
so I guess just what it brings out that I see, you know, like as far as like an artist side of me, it just like, come on, man. You know, we
like when I was playing, it was like Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel's another one. Yeah.
It's just like, damn, dude, if I gotta play Wagon Wheel one more freaking time.
Yeah.
Like and it was just like one of those like, we actually had taken it out of our set for a while, and then we'd still get the request for it.
Yeah.
Wagon Wheel was huge.
Sweet Caroline's always been crazy.
Oh my God.
They love that.
Sweet Caroline. There's also, oh man. Well, I switched over to doing a little bit of acoustic stuff there towards the end by myself. So I did a lot of Mayer. John Mayer.
I love Mayer. Yeah, come on, man. I'm a white dude that was born in the late 90s. I love Mayer. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Mayer was it. But no, okay. Well, what about your favorite song? You still get goosebumps playing every time you play it.
So you mentioned acoustic. So there's things that I love to do acoustic, and there's songs I love to do with my band. Honestly, right now, I guess to answer it in a broad spectrum, I'm really enjoy when I have people come to see us that like to hear our original music.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just what I'm striving for, and it's easy to get frustrated as an artist playing covers. And not that I don't like playing covers, you know, I'm not ungrateful at all, but
well, it's
man.
Not what the dream
That's
is
not
to
the
eventually
eventual goal.
Yeah, the dream is to eventually play all of your own original music, and people know what that is. And
So when we, you know, if we play a song that's I love this moment when this happens. When we play a song that's an original and we don't tell them it's an original before we start.
And people are like, I love that song.
And people are like, you know, we like, that's, you know, who does that? When somebody's like, who does that? I'm like, okay, it's good enough to be in the masses. So that, you know, that makes you feel good as a creator and stuff. Now in acoustic world, I love any kind of bluegrass music, man. I'm a bluegrass nut. Yeah, I love it. I grew up playing it.
Osborne Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I've gotten more in...
Like Newgrass?
More so, yeah. I mean, I don't want to hear no drums in my bluegrass by any means.
Yeah.
But, I like to hear people taking some chances musically with some bluegrass stuff. And I like the singers to be good.
Yeah.
Because some of the old bluegrass singers, man, they had great songs, but they weren't...
Like I said, Osborne Brothers.
Yeah, man.
I could sit there and listen to Osborne Brothers for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
I used to love bluegrass back when I was a kid. My uncle plays banjo, and my other uncle played guitar. So whenever both those nutcases got together at a family event, both of them got together, and that was what they played, was bluegrass.
It's the best.
And but I can get down on some bluegrass.
I love it, man. And like, I probably just sound like a poser when I say this, but Billy Strings, man, he's huge. I mean, it's, you know, the traditionalists hate on him, but dude, nobody's filling arenas with a bluegrass show except him. You know,
we should make a comeback on that. Come up with
bluegrass,
a bluegrass band, freaking make it. Get a little bit of, gotta add a little bit of rap to it.
Add some rap to, yeah. Dude, you would have a riot of old bluegrass enthusiasts with banjos, mad.
With banjos, and, banjos, fiddles, and freaking.
I actually go up to this this bluegrass jam they do on Wednesday mornings at a coffee shop in 30A.
Really? What?
Yeah. Yes.
Where is this?
It's called the sign out front says Music and Coffee. I think that's the name of the place. The owner's super cool.
You said it's off 30A. Is it near like Grayton Beach?
So it's
in between
The Publix in 30A, like way up. I guess it would be more so Grayton Beach or maybe even
Seaside?
getting closer to Seaside, I would think.
Watercolor Seaside, that's where the Publix is.
So, not the first Publix after you get out of Panama City Beach, after you go across the bridge and stuff, heading that way. But like
It's on 30A. It's off of the main road going into Seaside, right? Is that what you're talking about?
no, that's the other Publix. So
Oh
that's-
no,
this
I know
one's
what
on
you're
98.
talking
Yeah.
about. Oh no,
there's
that's
a
down
McDonald's
there.
out front.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's yeah, it's very close to Grayton, but I'm trying to remember that area.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's out past
Yes.
like
I know-
295 or whatever that is.
I know
yeah.
exactly what you're talking
So
about.
the Publix right there, right in that plaza, there's a little place that says music and coffee, and I really hope that's the name. I'm getting that right because it's a great place. Everybody should check it out. But on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m., they have a bluegrass jam, and some of the guys from that do the bluegrass jam at Mosey's on Sunday nights here, they pick up there, and I messaged one of the guys that play up there, and I was like, "Hey, is that open to like the public?" They're like, "Yeah, come jam."
What morning?
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Wednesday morning.
So so that's been really good for my just the love of the music. It's been very refreshing to me because I play. We do what we do, and we do it so often. It's nice to
Let loose and go do the same
let
thing.
loose and do something a little different, but like that not be. I don't have to worry about that being my main job. Like I
Yeah.
just it's not like I'm doing it for money. It's like I'm just having fun doing it.
Yeah, no, man.
And
that's
that makes me appreciate what I do more.
I did not know that we had like some bluegrass. I didn't even know we had pickers around here.
There's pickers,
dabbled.
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, there's pickers.
Dude, I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah.
When I have family come down, I have to remember that Wednesdays. So cool. Are you playing anywhere on 38 right now?
Yes. On Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays, I'm at the Old Florida Fish House.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. I've never been in there.
It's great.
It looks like a pretty nice place.
It's nice, man. Yeah, it's very nice, and the food's really good, and the staff's good. They got their stuff together over there. It's a big place.
So is that place isn't seasonal either? They stay open all year
They stay
round?
open. Yeah, I got to play there tonight.
Nice,
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely.
Sweet. Anywhere else? Like, do you do weddings?
Yeah, I do weddings. We do weddings, and we've done birthday parties, and we've done them from upscale venues beside the ocean in Mississippi all the way to a metal shop with a space heater in it getting rowdy.
Have you hooked up with some of those wedding companies out there though off of 30A? Like actually gone in and talked to some of those because they got a huge plan. Like they've got
right.
the planning
Yeah.
place that's there where they have like all these wedding planners.
Yeah. Well,
Been in there
I'll
yet?
say this about weddings: if you're so a wedding, I don't want to be like a wedding band.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not what I do.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna play cover tunes, man, you might as well go ahead and get into the wedding game because that's where the money's at.
Really?
Dude, there's wedding bands all the time making 10 grand for a show.
Really? I didn't know
Yes.
that they'd been getting paid that much.
Yes, but there's things you have to do as a wedding band. You have to learn songs that they want to hear. You got to know all the classic dance music that you're gonna hear. And everything's got to be right. It's got to be to charge 10 grand. It has to be on par. So normally when we do weddings, it's more for like friends or people that have come out to see us, and we get to know them that way. And it's a little more personal than the other, the alternative. And we stay busy enough that we'll do one of those every now and again. And it's usually you get paid well and fed well, and it's a good deal. But that's right now that's not my main objective.
Are you guys traveling as far as Destin?
I haven't been over to Destin much. No, we have to actually go to Biloxi to the Hard Rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you playing there?
Friday night? Yeah.
You're playing there?
So Dr. Horton of Panama City, they're having their Christmas party there, and we were fortunate enough to get hooked up with them, and we're gonna play their Christmas party.
Wow.
So they've rented out a big space there at the Hard Rock, and we're gonna get down with it.
Freaking man, that's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be so fun.
Go hit the tables too, right? After.
No, man. I might hit some.
I just
slots.
made this good money. Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go spend it.
Yeah, I'm not a gambler, man. I've been to one casino in my life up in French Lick, Indiana, and
French lick.
yeah, that's home of Larry Bird. And they got a casino up there. We went snowboarding up at Paoli Peaks, and the next town over is French Lick. And I went in there with a few buddies of mine, and took in a couple $100, lost it immediately. So I was like, well, we're just drinking now.
Yeah.
Just having fun now.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's how it works in those places. Cool, man. And what about Lynn Haven? Play anywhere in Lynn Haven yet?
Let me think here. I'm still learning
the areas.
I'm still yeah.
Well,
pretty
the only
much.
reason why I brought up Lynn Haven, man, is because, man, dude, we're trying to. It would be great to see Lynn Haven build up a little bit more than where they're at right now.
Lynn Haven's cool. It's got a good vibe. Cool.
Yeah. Some of the restaurants that are over there, though, I know. I don't really know where you would play in Lynn Haven. That's the reason why I was pretty much asking, like, hey, have you hit Lynn Haven? Like,
well, let me think here. We do some stuff with Sweet Bay sometimes.
Sweet Bay,
which is it's not in Lynn Haven, but it's in that area.
Yeah.
We've done some stuff over there. We've done some private stuff, in that area as well. But yeah, it's a cool little scene in Lynn Haven. I think it could be. It's almost got like a St. Andrews vibe, but a little more. I don't mean this in a bad way. Not as weird. Like, I mean, I love the weirdness of stuff. I love that. But, just the fact of it is just a little different. I actually went to, I met with a friend of mine, plays music around that, we met at a coffee shop the other day just to hang out and catch up in Lynn Haven. It was like on the back street.
Wild Root.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. That was such a cool little place,
Yeah, Wild Root's cool. Owner in there is a pretty nice guy, too. So, what does your wife do here?
My wife, she waits tables. Yeah, she serves at Schooners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she works at Schooners over there, and
dude, yeah, I heard that this is going to be like the first year that they're working all year round. They're working all year round, and so is Pineapple Willie's.
Really?
They're only going to be closed. What was that they said, Kendall, when we went over there? They're only closed for like 1 week.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's like 1 week in January, and then they open back up in February or something.
I think
like that.
Schooners is similar. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is pretty cool because when I grew up here, man, dude, Pineapple Willie's, they closed, I want to say, like October, like the beginning of October, and nothing opened until February. Same thing with Captain Anderson's and all these other places.
Yeah.
I think tourism has been killed to the point to where they have to stay open now to be able to make some of the profits that they lost out on. But then again, at the same time, it might just be because they want to stay open for their employees. I don't know.
Or snow, they get a lot of snowbirds come down.
Yeah, I don't know if the snowbird population has gotten, if we are actually getting more or less of them. I know one thing, we're in the off season now, and it took me a damn near 45 minutes to get from the Hathaway to the Caroline Bridge, Lake Caroline Bridge, right before you go over into Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
It took me 45 minutes to get from that bridge to that bridge.
Absolutely.
It used to be a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
Because I grew up here, so like growing up here and seeing how stuff has built up, and they're putting a stoplight every 5 feet on Back Beach Road.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're building all of these apartments, and it's just like, then there's the road construction that's going on top of that.
Yeah. So when I got here, they hadn't started that in Panama yet.
Oh yeah.
It was like way down 98.
Yeah.
And that, like, I was here probably 6 months, and then boom, they've got like 14 feet holes dug.
Well, they got projects going on all over the place, and it's like, dang, man, you had to do this huge long strip at one freaking time. Like, if you guys were actually worth a dang, and you could actually, get it done quicker, I would understand it. But that they started a project that's going to take years, I guess. I mean, it's just
I guess depending on what it is.
But you cannot drive. But then it's so funny because I have the worst luck in the world. I'll stop at every freaking red light between here and there. But then we were coming back from Destin the other day. Didn't hit one single red light all the way from Sandestin.
Yeah.
We hit green lights all the way down 98, Back Beach, all the way up to Pier Park, all the way down. It was like, what happened? Yeah. And there was more traffic on the road then than there ever had been when we've just normally been driving. We stop at every red light.
Right.
It's like, man, dude, catching that break is crazy. Anyway, talk about red lights. Talk about traffic. Yeah. Okay. So when you came here in 2022, they hadn't started that project
No,
yet.
not really. No. And I think
I'm pretty sure they put Rudy's out of business. Rudy's, the barbecue place on Back Beach.
Oh no,
they're closed,
I like
bro.
Rudy's.
I love Rudy's.
Rudy's
they're
is
closed.
Good. Really?
They will not be back. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure all that road construction there destroyed them.
Yeah, man. Just like there's a place, well, up there, like going into Santa Rosa. I've never been there, but the Shades restaurant and bar.
Shades. Yeah,
man. They've had construction there for 2 years, and that's hurt that business.
Well, they put an underground tunnel there.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah. I kind of want to go check it out.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why I want to check it out is because this is Florida. How did you drain that?
Yeah.
You've got to have like a pump or something when it rains, right?
It'd have to. Yeah, it's below sea level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I want to go out there just to look at it for that.
I don't really know how anything drains here. I don't understand that.
Well, that's the reason why we have so many swamps.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So cool, man. Yeah, we hit on your backstory, where you're playing music. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No,
I got one for you.
Okay.
Because you were talking about, I'm coming a little hot. How deals work. I was curious since it's getting, they're calling it like the podcast presidency. You have that one guy who's making music, so he's pretty much going from putting YouTube music to someone's already bought the rights to the music to make like a Broadway show. Like, have you ever thought of that and just keeping all of your proceeds, like through Spotify, YouTube?
Copyright. Are you on Spotify or anything?
Yes.
Are you really?
Yeah, everybody go check it out, man.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
we're actually about to get in the studio right after
I
Christmas.
did not know. So you got it out, man, dude. When I say, look, man, is there anything else you want to do? That's one of the
yeah. Shameless
I
plug
did not
here.
know.
Yeah, shameless plug. Y'all go check it out. It's Alex Napier and Daybreak on any major streaming platform, except TouchTunes. I got to figure that out. That's been getting on my nerves lately. We're not on TouchTunes. But,
Alex Napier
and Daybreak. Yeah.
and Daybreak.
Yeah. So we cut that album. It's been over 2 years ago now, and I didn't know anything about producing or anything. So like I went in and like it's what you hear on that is just like us playing the instruments. I mean, it was recorded at a.
Is this all original?
Yeah, it's all original stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we're about to get back in this because I haven't put any music out in a long time. I've just been playing and making a living and running the road. So
Yeah.
After Christmas, we're gonna get back in the studio. Got
What
some really.
studio do you guys use right now?
We've been looking around. There's actually a few good ones in Lynn Haven.
Well, I was about to say, I got a buddy of mine. He's on my Facebook. I think he started up a studio. Which studios, it's kind of like, I like the fact that they're kind of coming back because there for a while, it's like you can just pretty much record from your home. And
Yeah, do it
whatever
at your
you do
desk.
now.
Yeah.
But there's something about, because I've been in a studio several times and recorded. There's something about going into a studio.
It's great.
It's a different feeling. It's like
There's an urgency to it, and you don't have. I mean, I've never had the money to like just sit around and mess around in a studio. So like when I go, anytime I'm in the studio, like it's not a place to learn the songs. Like you gotta, you gotta have it together. Like I'm trying to get it first or second take.
That's hey Kendall, look up what's the most expensive studio to use per hour in the United States. I'm pretty sure it's a place in a place in New York.
Yeah.
It's like $37,000 an hour.
Excuse me. Yeah.
37 grand an hour. It's like ridiculous amount of money to be able to.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, any studio time's expensive, but I mean, you're 36,000. You're talking a Camry for an hour.
A Camry.
You're talking a base model Camry right now for an hour.
A Camry an hour.
Yeah, brand new one, man. Warranty.
Yeah, no, I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was in New York.
New York was $2,500, I think, an hour, and it just sold for $4 million.
That's the thing. They've sold a lot of them, I mean,
Selling a lot of studios.
yeah, they'll turn ownership almost like a bar, or a restaurant. They turn ownership quite often, I think. Yeah, a studio.
Studio time is.
Studio time's expensive, and if it's not like an established studio, I really recommend doing your research and going and touring it and looking at it, because I've seen some that I wasn't impressed with,
Yeah.
and but I went and looked at a buddy of mine has one over in Lynn Haven, Will Thompson, and he's built a fabulous little studio, man, and it's You know, that guy's a genius anyway, you know, with the music scene and just how everything works. But, I got to hang out with him, you know, and he very gracious with his time, and, you know, so we checked it out. So we'll probably work with Will some. And, you know, there's a place out in Texas, out in Austin, that I met a guy the other day that, you know, we've been talking back and forth with about maybe going and checking it out. I don't know. Right now I'm going to get a few singles out, and, you know, to cut a whole album, I'd at least like to have one single that's done pretty well before I just stamp an album out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be an artist that's never had any success and have 14 studio albums out. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to tread lightly on that, because the business doesn't. You know, they're very, if you cut an album, like if Morgan Wallen cuts an album, they're going to make sure he's got 3 number ones singles before he makes that album, and they'll put them all on that album, and now it's a huge album.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a smart thing to do. So I try to follow Sue, you know, for when I see things working.
That's a good way of putting that. A lot of people don't think about it that way, or
Yeah.
at least guys that are just getting their start. You know, it's like, oh, we got together, we've got, you know, 7, 8, 10 decent, good original songs. Let's just go make an album because we're so excited to put this down. But like you said, most of the big time dudes are sitting there going, how many of those are going to be at number 1?
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And it's like, oh, only one of them. Nah, man, we're not ready to cut an album
You
yet.
know, in today's age of music and music listeners, it's, you know, everybody has a much shorter attention span because we're so stimulated all the time, and we need the next thing, you know, the next dopamine hit. So it's
We were just talking about that the other day, about social media, about how that immediate rush.
Yeah.
Getting what you wanted, how you wanted it.
And that makes sure every day they fine tune it a little better. You know?
Yeah. What's your, well, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
But what's your social media life like? Like, are you on top of that stuff?
Dookie.
Oh, really?
Dude, my wife is the only reason I get anything out. I've never been, I love to look at Marketplace. But this day and age, man, it's if you're gonna be an artist, especially an independent artist or any kind of artist, even your biggest guys, you have to put out content. Yeah. You have to TikToks, Reels every day. Every day has to be something, and I understand all of that. I haven't been as on top of it because right now I'm working on getting material.
Same way, man.
You know, I'm working on getting songs that I like and I want to put out. So I've been writing a lot. I've actually been writing with a guy named Stevie Muntz here in town that plays all over the place here. He's a great writer. He's I already knew how to write. I mean, I'd already had an album out, but he's kind of taken me under his wing and showed me, you know, the right ways and, you know, just to be more constructive with it.
What's your largest venue so far that you've done?
Largest venue. So I usually don't count these, but anytime you do like a festival or like, even if it's for like a small city, you know, you'll have, 4,000 or 5,000 people out there, but it's not like you put 5,000 people in seats, you know? So, the largest ticketed event I've ever done, we done a show for the Bobby Driver, Memorial Scholarship Fund. It's just, you know, helping kids out with their tuition and stuff. And they put on a show every year in Glasgow, Kentucky. And, we got to headline it last year in November, so a year and a month or so ago, and we played at a place called the Plaza Theater in Glasgow, and I think it holds like 1,100 or 1,200, and we sold, I think all together, and you got to think the scholarship fund helps buy a few hundred tickets as well, you know, so we probably, I think there was like 750 tickets sold, you know, and that's a lot of people. I mean, I was very happy with it. I mean, it wasn't, you know, it's easy to get jaded and look at Morgan Wallen's crowds of 100,000 people, but
dude,
you know, 700 people in a town of a few thousand people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, so I was tickled about that. And then when I first moved here, my first few weeks in town, I was hanging out at an open jam they were having at Barracuda Beach Bar, and they do it on Tuesday nights.
Now, anyway, get back to what we were talking about. So the music side of business, do we even have, like, I mean, you would be the one to know, but how long have you been playing music here? Since 22?
Yeah, early 22, so almost 3 years, yeah.
And do we have, like, managers and scouts that kind of run the area to, like, get good quality music into the studio and like actually sign record deals anymore? Is that even a thing, or have you?
I mean, for original music, there might be, but you're not going to see them out at a bar.
They're sitting there scrolling on their.
They're looking at your
TikTok.
Spotify numbers, you know. If those are just business
Oh,
people,
really?
yeah, TikTok, yeah, whatever, you know. As far as the local music scene goes, no, there's you'll have people that'll kind of schedule gigs. You know, you got people that do booking. It's very rarely like some big company, you know what I mean? It's usually individuals that'll do it, and so you know, a lot of people get gigs like that. I've gotten a lot of gigs like that. There's a couple people in town that do it, and then. A lot of it's word of mouth, you know. Bar Dad, he's all the time promoting everybody, you know. I mean, that dude's out every night of the week, you know, just promoting and showing love. So the community really loves him, you know. So yeah, that'd be the worst business thing to do if you were trying to make a living here, was get on Bar Dad's bad side, because everybody loves the dude, you know. We all love him, and he's well protected here, you know. So
I don't know who Bar Dad is.
you don't know who Bar Dad is, man?
No, I do not. Do you know who it is? Okay, neither one of us. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, you know, that's he's just, you know, he's just a great guy that comes around. He videos all the bands and posts them, and he'll make schedules of where everybody's going to be at.
On Facebook or something?
Yeah, man. Yeah, his name's Michael Santiago.
Oh,
You know, yeah.
he was just in the hospital not too long ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you know, everybody, you know, Bar Dad's his thing, you know, and he's like he's a promoter, and he promotes everybody's stuff, and just the sweetest guy, and just does it for free, man. Like,
Wow.
does it because he loves it and loves everybody. So
He
you know,
makes y'all schedules of where you're going to be at.
yeah,
everything
man. Like
that.
you know, just because he cares that much, and to see anybody care about something that much is so cool. I think, because
Yeah, I know
in
exactly
a
what
world
you're
that it's
talking
easy
about.
to get busy and to not care about anything, you know, like to see somebody that dedicated to something so cool. So you know, he's huge in this scene.
Yeah. I knew. He's all the time posting stuff.
Yeah.
like on Facebook and on Reels and on a story, and so I always see like what's going on. But I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he, like
yeah. If you want to know what's going on, man, you follow around here. You follow him, and you know, literally everybody. He goes to see everybody, and great guy, man. And that's how a lot of the promoting gets done around here, honestly. And then you know, there's some very great business owners here that you know, they'll do billboards, they'll do commercials, and you know, they care about their local people. So yeah, it's a small town, you know that. I mean, you grew up here. It's when all the tourists leave, it's crazy. Or even when they're here, you can still pick people out that you're like, I see them all year, you know. And it's a very tight community. The community's been really good to me. You know, I had my wife and we lost our son in June, early June.
this year.
Yes, yeah, he was born early, and so we had the funeral and all that stuff. So that was a huge setback this year for everything, for everybody. And dude, they had a benefit for us at the Goat, and you know, they raised money for funeral bills, and so I mean, our community back home took really good care of us, and the one down here did too. Yeah. So you know, I got nothing but love for Panama City Beach.
Yeah, and the Goat did that for you guys.
The Goat, and then all the musicians came and played. You know, donated their time. You know,
wow.
You know, I mean, there's too many. I don't even want to name anybody because I don't want to leave anybody out. But you know, all the major players, and anybody that's listening knows who that is. You know, they were all there, and that, you know, that was so great and such a hard time.
So I don't want to dig too deep, but like, what was was it? You had a boy or a girl, or
it was a boy, little boy. His name was Jude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was.
She just was too early, or it.
I don't really want to get in it too far.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I just was kind of curious because
there was some malpractice.
Was there really?
Yeah, so we're kind of trying to deal with that a little bit. So I don't want to speak on it too
That's
heavy.
fine.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't mind to talk about it. It's not like that. You know, you haven't. You know,
Well,
you're not offending me
more
talking
like,
about it. You know,
I was just my a really good friend of mine who I talked to. He's a good friend of mine. But him and his wife are going through a thing. His daughter was born year before last, and there was some pretty, like, they thought they were going to lose their baby.
Yeah.
And I just remember the devastation when he thought
Yeah.
They had to go up in a helicopter and be airlifted somewhere to like another hospital.
Yeah, man.
And it was just like this, and it just turned him into, yeah, man. That's a rough thing.
It's a beast. It's a
well, people take it's one of those things like used to have somebody that I hung out with, and he was a gynecologist, and he delivered babies, but he or an OBGYN, I don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he used to talk about it all the time. It's actually scary to deliver a baby still to this day, because it's not. We live in a time period in the world where we think we pretty much have everything figured out.
Yeah,
And like,
man.
there's no like, but it's like, no, childbirth is still one of the most dangerous things that you can do
Yeah.
on the face of the planet. And it doesn't
Yeah.
always. So, man, dude, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Oh yeah, man. It's and you don't realize how many people it happens to until it happens to you. You know, and you start talking to people, and yeah, man, it was it sucked, but that's one of them things. What are you gonna do? So it's just try to honor him and be the best version of myself I can be. So I kind of just threw myself into my work. And done it that way, and my wife is one of the strongest people I know, and so she's, I couldn't, it was tough for me, but a mom, man, a mama, that's there's something primal there that a man will never understand. So I've just tried to be there for her, really. That's what's kind of keeping me going, and we've been getting back on our feet and doing our thing. But yeah, that was a big setback for sure.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. So cool. But yeah, so making music though. You're able to.
Yeah, man.
Able to bounce back from it.
Yeah, I mean, we're making music, and that's to get back to the community. The thing, the 850 thing, man. It's the community was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never done anything to deserve what they done for me. So. I really appreciated that at all of them. I've never actually went on record talking about it, but so they know though. I tell everybody personally, or I try to, so.
Well, I just gained a lot of respect for I already liked the Salty Goat.
Yeah.
But the fact that they would do that for a local musician.
Dude, yeah.
That
Salt
right
of the
there.
earth people, man.
Yeah, man, that's emotional.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, it is, man.
Well, because, and it's no secret, most of the people listening to the show kind of, I've got comments. I read them every once in a while. I'm trying not to get too far into it, but like, people are always like, oh, I live in I hate being around people a lot. And the reason why is because of just like the selfish nature behind people.
Yeah.
There's no more etiquette. Even like when you just drive from here to there, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody's always in a hurry. Nobody cares about anybody. And to know that part of the community is still alive to do something like that for somebody, dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm freaking that right there is, that's part of being a community.
Yeah, and it's part of being a human being, I think, Yeah, man. We were really grateful for that, and just, to know that anybody cares is sometimes all you need, and we've got, great family and everything as well that, that couldn't have done it without it. It was all moving pieces. I've just tried to be fortunate through all of it, because we've had great family, great communities that, done anything they could to help us and make us more comfortable. And there's a lot of, there's people every day that go through the same thing that have nobody, so I try to just keep that in mind whenever I get down on myself,
Yeah, man, dude, that's freaking,
yeah,
that's
man.
awesome. I'm happy about that. In fact, I'm going to go eat at the Salty Goat just because of that.
You got to, man. They're great, man. It's awesome.
That's awesome. So any upcoming places that you're trying to get into that you want to play that you haven't been able to play yet, that you're trying for, or?
I'd like to go play at Floribama.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I haven't been over there yet, and played any. They got a cool thing going on over there, I think. A lot of, good people coming in and out, and they do original shows and stuff like that. So right now it's just mainly about songwriting and getting everything prepared for this next big push for social media, and it's about to get time to get serious, you know.
Yeah.
So I've just been preparing for that and kind of getting everybody rested up for that, and we're, you know, about to make a big push next year.
Lots of holiday shows coming up in December before Christmas.
I mean, we say lots. We play a lot. I mean, I think usually since I've been here, every year I've done over 300 shows a year since I've been in Panama. And that's, other than like some Nashville cats and stuff, that's a lot of shows. You know, to play every day, or, you know, the days that you're not playing, the other day you'll have a double, you know, kind of thing. And so we, you know, we play a lot of shows, but not really anything particular for the holiday, I don't guess.
Yeah.
Because everything close to the holiday kind of has that vibe to it. You know, you kind of got to match that, you know. But no, nothing crazy. We got the Christmas party at the Hard Rock we're playing.
Yeah.
That, you know, we're super excited about that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just, you know, just jamming out. And then Saturday night we'll be back at the Goat.
Yeah.
You know, we got some shows at Neon's coming up this month. We'll do some Christmas stuff for that. It's a lot of fun over there.
On your Facebook, or is there a page that you
Facebook.
have? And then you have like your calendar set out already for the month?
Yes, absolutely. On Facebook, it's Alex Napier and Daybreak. Or anybody around here, you know, if they've got me on, you know, my personal Facebook, I post both, you know, that way. And I got to do some kind of merger at some point. I got to figure out how that works, you know, but for right now, I just post it on both, you know, so people that follow the page can see it and friends of mine can see it.
Cool, man.
So yeah, we post a schedule every month. My wife makes something real nice on Canva and we put it out there and
Nice.
hope people come, you know, put some asses in seats.
Yeah, man, that's how it's done.
That's right.
But cool. Well, I appreciate having you on.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
guys. It's a
Appreciate
great
it.
thing y'all are doing here, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.